So fine. So last day we just been discussing on data types, right? We have been talking about data types of C sharp. We just been stopped with the data types are divided into categorizations, value types, and reference types. Okay. So what are value types? I said you value types are stored on. Where are value types stored? Value types are stored for you on the stack. They're going to be stored for you on the stack actually. Okay. So we store the value types on the stack. And the second thing is going to be reference types. The second one is going to be reference types. What will reference types do? Reference types are going to store reference types are stored on the heap memory. Value types are stored on the stack memory, and reference types are stored on the heap memory. Okay, but their addresses will come and sit on stack actually. Yeah, the addresses will now come and sit for you on the stack memory. That's what we have been talked in the last class about the value types and the reference types and how they are stored for you on your computer. Okay, fine. Next. Yeah. This is what I shown you in the previous class, remember? This is what I shown you in the previous class. So stack will store all the value types and the addresses are stored on the reference type. Actually, now comparing these two, stack is under whose control? Remember guys, stack is under the control of the developer. Stack is under the control of the operating system. As I said you in the last class, remember, operating system will create this stack and gives it to the program. Operating system will create a stack and gives to the program. So every program will have its own stack. Every program will have its own stack. If there are 10 programs in execution, there also will be 10 stacks. So all programs are going to have a separate stack there. Point clear or not? All the programs are going to have a separate stack. Every program will have its own stack. No two programs can share the same stack. But when you come to heap memory is completely different. Heap memory is completely different. When you talk about the heap memory, when you talk about this particular heap memory is common for all the programs. All programs will be sharing the same heap because, as I said you, anytime you can enter into it, anytime you can exit from it. But stack is not like this. If you enter into stack, you can exit only in the end of the program's execution. I repeat, guys, if you enter into stack, you can exit only from in the end of the program's execution. But that is not the case in the heap. If you enter into heap, you can exit from the heap at any point of time. There is no time lag for heap memory. So that's why multiple programs can share the same heap. Multiple programs can share the same heap, but multiple programs cannot share the same stack. Got it or not? Every program will have a separate stack, but every program will not have a separate heap. Heap is common for all programs. And heap is under whose control? Under whose control this heap memory will be present means actually in our older languages means C language, C++ language, in these languages, in our older languages like C, C++, in these languages, heap is under the developers. Heap is under the developer's control. Heap is under the developer's control. So developer is actually responsible for dealing with this heap actually. The developer is actually responsible to deal with the heap. It is under the developer's control. if you recollect yourself, you might, if you learned about data structures in your C language, you call a function called malloc, calloc. When you call the memory is allocated for you. Okay, when you call this particular functions, it is going to allocate the memory for you. And this memory allocation, when you call malloc, calloc, is performed for you on the heap only, not on the stack. Not on the stack, it is performed on the heap. Actually, it used to be under programmer's control. It used to be under programmer's control. But right now, when you come to modern programming languages, the modern programming languages, heap is not under the developer's control also. Heap is under the control of a special component called as garbage collector. It was under the control of a special component called as a garbage collector. It is under the garbage collector's control, not under the developer's control anymore. That is the reason why in our modern programming languages like Java, .NET, and Python, in all these languages, that is called as managed heap, not heap. In C, C++, and older languages, what we call heap. But in modern languages, what we call managed heap. Because that is implicitly managed by a special component called as garbage collector. Is it clear? In C and C++, who used to manage? Developer. So that is called as heap. That's it. But now managed by garbage collector or our runtime. So we call it as a managed heap. Are you clear on all of you? So that is no more a heap memory, it is a managed heap memory. Okay, finally, I did not only explain you that point. Reminding all the things I shown you, how stack will store and how heap will store. The address means, see guys, for a memory, you will have an address. Values in the memory will have address. And then the concept of pointers in C. A pointer is nothing but the address of a memory. See, you have an address, you store, you live somewhere, you have an address. Somewhere, a value lives somewhere now, that also is going to have address. So now, the address where the value is stored will come and store on the stack. The address where the value is stored on the heap will come and store in the stack actually. That's S is equals to address means the address location of the heap will be stored. So that's why we cannot directly access the values in the heap. First you should come to stack now, pick the address. From there you are required to go to heap now and pick the values from the heap now. Is the point clear all of you? Yes or not? So this is how the stack and heap are going to function. Stack is under the control of operating system. I'm new here, don't know anything. Did you attend for the first day? Are you attending for the first day? What is the name? Sanyuni. Is it your first class? Who has given the permission to you first? Who given you the meeting ID? How did you get that? Attend in the next class. Are you aware of C language? Are you aware of C language? You're aware of the C language, huh? Then wait on the end of the month at 11:45, a new batch will start. Attend in that. You won't understand anything. Already we just discussed a lot of things. 2 weeks completed. You won't understand. It will start in the end of the month, I'm telling you. It's not started. End of the month, it will start. My existing batch will complete there and a new batch will start. Visit the Narrative website, find out, and then the new batch will start. That is the Narrative website. Okay, now you can leave. You won't understand. Just end of the month, refer to the website. You will find up the new batch. Okay. Fine. Why a stack is not called as managed stack? Stack is not managed by garbage collector. Stack is not managed by garbage collector. You have a paper on June 17th. Then ask who has given the mail, who has given the link, Srikanth Olina. Ask Srikanth to provide the videos to you for the missing classes. Ask Srikanth for providing videos for the missing classes. It will start in this week, Srikanth. Okay. So guys, yeah, that's about stack and heap and how the stack and heap will function. That's about stack and heap and how they are going to function. Okay now? Next. The next thing is, guys, listen to this. Some few things let's still understand about the data types. We are not done with data types yet. There are still a few things what we require to understand regarding the data types. So let's talk about all these things. So what are the other things we require to understand about the data types? Okay. Remember, I explained you about this one. When you declare variables, I said, variables must be initialized at the time of declaration or before consumption, right? Variables must be initialized before the declaration, at the time of declaration or before consumption. So suppose I say int I. Basically, I did not initialize it. I'm only declaring it now. So this is an error. This is an error. The variable is an error. Already shown you. Okay. But guys, I don't know what value to assign to it. I don't know what value to assign to it. Suppose I'm declaring a string here. For example, I'm declaring a string here, string s. Variable. I don't know what value to assign. I don't know what value to assign. I have an option. What option, you know? If you don't know what value to assign to a variable, you can initialize it with null. To say it's an unknown value. It is a unknown value. I don't know value. Okay. But when I declare int I don't know value. I don't know value. What should I assign? Did you understand? I declared string str. I don't know value. I assign null. But for integer, I'm declaring integer. I don't know value. What should I assign? Unfortunately, I cannot assign null. I cannot assign null. It is invalid. This is valid. But the second one is not valid. Someone said 0. Why 0? Why 0? If 0, why not 1? Is 0 unknown value? Huh? 0 has a great importance in mathematics. Don't forget that. 0 is not an unknown value. If you are telling 0, why not 1? Why not 2? All are values only. But what I'm saying is, I don't know the value. I don't know the value. So this is a drawback. This is a drawback in all the programming languages, C language, C++ language, in all languages we have this common drawback. What's it? You cannot assign null to value type. You cannot assign null to value type. The languages are designed like null cannot be assigned to a value type. Okay. So this problem was present in the initial versions of C# also. Initially also, C# also has the same problem. Null cannot be assigned to value type. Value types doesn't support null values. Who supports null value? Reference types only will support null value. Did you understand my point or not? Who supports null value? Reference types only supports a null value. But a value type will never support a null value at any point of time. So this is a great drawback what we have in all programming languages which are present in the market. Okay. Even when C# was designed also, same problem was there. Value types doesn't support null value. So it becomes a challenge when we are dealing with the databases now. It becomes a big challenge when we are dealing with a databases now. What challenge? In databases, value types, reference types, both will accept null. In database, value types, reference types, both will accept null. But don't know the reason, in the initial days of the programming only, our programmers have designed it in such a way, value types doesn't accept in programming languages. Did you catch my point? Don't know the reason, but the designers of the programming languages have thought like value type should not accept the null value, and they have designed it in such a way, value types doesn't accept null values in programming languages. But database designers thought like, the value types also should accept null value, and they give a permission there. See now, what is the problem for us, sir? The problem is database and application are not different here. Tomorrow, 90% of the applications will work with the database in the future. 90% of the applications will work with the database. You go to an ATM now. You're watching you're just going to see your balance. You're going to see your balance, you withdraw, your deposit, you do all the transactions. To work with it means when user interface comes to you, you click on the buttons and do some actions there, correct? But do that actions, the code is written by using some programming language. The code is written by using some programming language. But end of the day, where the data is stored on the database. Means a programming language, application designed by using a programming language, and the database are tightly coupled with each other. Don't forget that. Are you clear? All our applications will deal with the database in the future. We are only understanding how to design the applications, but going forward, our application will communicate with the database now. Understand me or not? When you are talking with the database, problem starts. What problem? The problem is, tomorrow, some value I'm loading from a database into an application. Some value I'm loading from a database into application. Suppose I'm loading some customer's data is present here. I'm loading the name. I'm loading the name. Name is string for us now. Name is string now. So a name is loaded. So come on, your string is there. Coming now, the value from the database comes into a variable. Say something like this. String name is equals to what I'm loading. Loading name from. Load name from database table. Are you clear? Okay. Suppose tomorrow in the name column, null is there. No problem. String will accept null. Are you clear? Same like this, I'm doing one more thing. What's it? Double balance is equals to load what? Balance. Now see the problem. What is the problem now? Tomorrow if the balance null is present. Tomorrow if the balance is null is present. Now the null comes into balance here. Error. Why? Value type doesn't accept null values in programming languages. Did you understand my point or not? Database accepts. The application is not accepting. Tomorrow value is present, application will work perfectly. If there is any null value and the null value is coming into the application, immediately you get an error in the code and the program stops. You get an error in the code and the program stops. Now is it a serious issue or not? Tell me. That's a very serious problem now. Okay, so we have this problem in all programming languages, and the initial versions of the C# also this problem was present. To overcome this problem, in C# 2.0, Microsoft added a feature in it called as nullable value types. Nullable value types means from C# 2.0 onwards, you can store null values in value types of C# also. You can store null values in C# types also, but only thing is you are required to declare it like this. Watch, int question mark I is equals to null. This is a valid statement. Are you clear? Now also if I say int I is equals to null, now also invalid only. How to write? Means if you want to accept the null value, declare it. Int question mark. No, sir, I don't want to accept the null value. Don't want? Then declare it as int I. Clearer or not? Okay, that depends upon our requirement. Which one is better, sir? Don't ask the question now. So it depends on your requirement here. Sometimes you may want to accept the null value. Sometimes you may not want to accept the null value. If you want to accept the null value, suffix a question mark. If you don't want to accept the null value, declare it normally. Suppose see, balance is there. I am sure balance will not contain null values. I am sure balance will not contain null values. Then this code works. But I'm not sure. Balance may contain null. Balance may contain null. So what to write? Double question mark. So tomorrow if a null is loaded also, I will not get any error. Are you clear? There's a new feature added in C# 2.0 called as nullable value types. Okay, so have a look. Nullable value types. These are introduced here. C sharp 2.0 for storing null values under value types, because by default value type cannot store null values under them, whereas reference types can store null values under. Reference types can store the null value. Okay, so you can look at it. String and star is equals to null. Object origin is equals to null. Both are valid because last class we already talked about these two are reference types. Correct? Int I is equals to null. Decimal D is equals to null. Both are invalid because we learned in the last class these two are value types, and a value type doesn't accept a null value. To overcome the above problem, nullable value type came into picture, and if we want a value type as nullable, we need to suffix with question mark and declare it as following. Int question mark I is equals to null, decimal question mark D is equals to null. So this is valid, is also valid. Okay now. So what we call this? Nullable value types. By default, internal system, what considering null value? Unknown, yeah. Null means unknown value. Nullable int, that only I explained you. Int question mark, when you say int question mark, that is going to be nullable. By default, value of int is 0. By default, value of int is 0. Guys, by default, value of int is 0. What you listen to the class here, it is only for a field, not for a variable. That's what I said here. Put every point in the mind. By default, value of int is 0 in case it is a field, not in case of a variable. Variable doesn't have a default value of it. If variable, no need to talk about this at all. Sorry, with a field, no need to talk about it. Automatically, default values will come. What did I say? Variable. Are you clear? In case of variables only, we are bothering about this, but not in case of fields. Field has a default value. Okay. Now, look at this, all of you. Concentrate on this. I'm declaring int I is equals to 100. I'll ask you a question. I is which type? No, I did not ask you value type or reference type. Which data type? Int. The question is foolish here. Why the question is foolish? You're declaring int I and again asking what is I. I is int only. Yes or not? The question is funny. Very foolish question it is. You're declaring int I and again you're telling I is which type? You said int na. Are you clear? Okay. So that's what. The point is very clear here. We just can understand easily what is it now. But guys, listen here. From C sharp 3.0, from C sharp 3.0, we are added with a feature. What is the feature, you know? You can now declare variables like this, where I is equals to 100. I'm again telling you can declare variables, not fields. Are you clear? You can declare variables like this, where I is equals to 100. Now the question starts here. What question? Sir, I is which type? Are you clear? What is the type of I? Any answer? I is integer. How did you say that? Now, the type identification is performed by the compiler based on the value that is assigned to it. The type identification is performed by the compiler based on the value that is assigned to it. What did you assign to it? 100. 100 is a integer, and based on the value that is assigned to it, the type identification is performed. Understood, everyone? Yes or not? Here, type identification is performed on the value. Okay, now see all of you. Varf is equals to 3.14. Come on, faster. I is of type int. F is of type wrong answer. Double, yeah. Last day I explained here. Decimal values are by default double. Okay, it's not a float, it's a double. Now it is decimal. Now it is float. That is how it is identified. Okay, so now it is a float. Where B is equals to true. B is of type string. Yeah. Look at the value. Oh, you're looking up at the variables and telling, I understood that. You're not concentrating on the value. Type identification is based on the value, not on the variable name I used. Are you clear? That is string. That is not a Boolean because it is in double quotes. Now it is Boolean. Okay, where S is equals to hello. S is of type string. No doubts here. Okay, where X. Tell me now. Invalid. Why? Type identification is done based on the value. If you don't assign the value, how can I recognize now? Did you understand the question? Type identification is based on the value here. If you don't have a value, recognition cannot be done there. It cannot recognize. So that's why when you say varix, that is invalid. Okay, now, and very importantly, a few things I just want to clarify here. What do you have? First point, you can use var only on variables, not on fields. Not on fields. Okay, just a minute. What the name of the concept is implicitly typed. Clear? You can apply it only on the variables, not on types, is the first point. Second point, declaration without initialization is not allowed. Declaration without initialization is not allowed. That's invalid, already said you. Third point, this is also not possible. What you know? Where I is equals to 100. I is integer type, right? Now in the next line, I'm writing I is equals to 34.56. I will not become a double, it is an error. I will not become a double, it is an error because on this line, compiler identified I as an integer. Compiler will recognize I as an integer. I is given the status of an integer now. And for an integer, you cannot assign a double value. That is error. You can change the value, but not the type. Did you catch my point? You can change the value, but not the type. Is it valid? Valid. I can change the value, but I cannot change of the type. So I want to write 200.56 is invalid. Are you clear with the three rules? Rule number 1 can be used only on variables. Rule number 2, declaration without initialization is not valid. Rule number 3, changing the type again in the runtime of the declaration is not possible. You can change the value but not the type. Okay? And actually, this feature was introduced in C# 3.0. You can change the size, that is a different story. You can change explicit conversions can be done, not implicit conversions. Okay. This is a feature introduced in C# 3.2 version. Are you clear? See guys, in the notes, I listed you the features added in all the versions too. And on that day I said, I'm not giving any explanation, but I'll show you. That's not in every version, what feature I came into picture, I'm giving you an explanation. You recollect already day before yesterday, I said you in C# 6.0, we got an option for importing classes. Using static and we can import a class. Using static and we can import a class. That came in C# 6.0, I said you. Today in C# 2.0, we got nullable value types. 3.0, implicitly typed variables. Implicitly typed variables. Third rule, you cannot change the type, guys. You can't do this. Why? I is an integer. Cannot be changed to double again. You can't change to double again. That is what? You can't change the type. Okay. Now, in C# 4.2, in C# 4.2, another feature was added. In C# 4.2, another feature was added. What is the other feature? They introduced as a new type. Concentrate all of that. They introduced a new type. What is a new type? Dynamic. They introduced a new type. What is that? Dynamic. What is dynamic? Dynamic is also like a var. Dynamic is also like var. Okay, means just like you said, var I is equals to 100. Now we can say dynamic D is equals to 100. D is of type int. But what is the specialty here? As the name indicates, it is really dynamic. What is that, sir? D is equals to D is of type double. D is equals to true. D is of type null. D is equals to hello. D is of type string. But just now I explained you here, I is equals to 100, and afterwards I'm assigning I is equals to 34.56. And what did I say? This is invalid. Once the declaration is done, the type cannot be changed again. But when you look at dynamic, am I able to change it or not? Yes or not? This is valid, guys. As the name tells, it's really dynamic. It is capable of changing automatically. Understood my point? Okay, so understand. Type identification for var is done in case of compile time. Type identification var is done at the time of compile. In the compile time, it identifies the type. In the compile time, it identifies the type. So in the compile time, compiler on this line identifies I as integer. So in the next line, in the compiler you said is an integer, and compiler will not allow to change it to double again. But when you come to dynamic, type identification is not performed in the compile time, guys. Type identification is performed in the run time. It is not in the compile time, it is in the run time. Now, what is the difference, When you tell anything to the compiler in the first line, until the end of the program, compiler will remember that point only. On the first line, I said to the compiler, it is an integer. Until end of the program, compiler will treat like it as a integer only. But when you come to runtime identification, what is the advantage, Runtime identification, what is the advantage? In the first line, this is identified as a integer. Okay, execution completed. Now it came to second line. When it comes to second line, first line execution completed now, it will immediately forget about the first line. It will immediately forget about the first line. So in the second line, I can now tell it is a double now. When you come to third line, it will forget about second line. Now I can tell this is a boolean. This is a string. I can change it dynamically in the runtime. But here it is not possible. Did you understand the difference between the compiler and the runtime now? Compiler means what you tell in the first applies until the last. But in the runtime, if you tell something on that line, that is only for execution of that line only. When you come to next line, automatically it is going to be a new thing what I tell to the runtime, and it executes also. Is that clearer or not? Okay, not type safe. Who said not type safe? I understand what is meant by not type safe, Shrikant. Not type safe means holding an object format. It is not holding an object format. It is holding as double only, bool only, string only. Okay, it is type safe only. It is not. Don't think it is not type safe. Type safe means everything holding an object. Then we say not type safe. Okay. So are you clear with the difference between var and dynamic? Yes or not? Okay. Now just let's compare the two. Let's compare the two. Var. We can apply it only on variables. Cannot be used on fields. Correct? But dynamic can be used on variables and fields also. Dynamic can be used on variables and fields also. That is the first difference. Second difference. In case of var, type identification is performed in the compile time. In case of dynamic, type identification is performed in the runtime. Third difference. In case of var, changing the type of the declaration is not possible. Changing the type of the declaration is not possible. But in case of dynamic responses, I already showed you. Fourth difference. Fourth difference. What is fourth difference, you know? Assignment at the time of declaration is mandatory for where, correct? Yes or not? But not in case of dynamic. All of you watch, this is valid. That is valid statement. Now you'll have doubt. Sir, how will compiler recognize D? D is which type? Compiler won't do that at all. Huh? That's what I said to you. Compiler won't do that. That happens in the runtime. Understood my point? In case of var, identification is done in compile time. But in case of var, identification is done on the runtime. That is why that is not going to become a problem for us. So these are the four differences what we have. I'm again pinpointing you. First difference, var can be used only on variables, but dynamic can be used on variables and fields also. Second difference, var identification is done on compile time, dynamic identification is done on runtime. Third difference, initialization without the declaration is not possible for var, but possible for dynamic. Fourth difference, changing the type in case of var is not possible, but it is possible in case of dynamic. It's possible in case of dynamic. These are the four differences what we have between var and dynamic. Var came in 3.2, dynamic came in 4.0. Okay. So we'll have a doubt now, sir, when should I use var, when should I use dynamic? We will understand it going forward. So I cannot tell you immediately what is the use of it. I'm talking about data types. I'll teach you everything about the data types. Okay. So here only, sir, will tell me where to use it means I cannot tell you. You don't know anything about application development. But go further. I will show you using var, using dynamic. Where do we use it going forward in the future classes? Now, really understand what is the difference between var, dynamic. Don't talk about implementations. I'm not teaching the implementations to you right now. Implementations will be taught going forward. When we design UIs, when we work with the databases, all these things will come into action. Okay, now. Fine. So let me show you practically. Try what's a folder? C# 9. Okay. Someone again and again, I'm just telling you, see, you have in a folder, first change to that folder and compile. Someone sent me a code yesterday. They were writing here. You are pointing to enterprise and you are compiling of your program now. Use your common sense here. When you want to compile, you should be in the folder where you saved your program. You store, you sit somewhere and you cannot compile the program now. You put your food at your home now, your food is at your home now, you are somewhere and you cannot eat now. If you want to eat the food, you should be in the place where the food is present. A simple sense. Okay? And again, second thing what I want to say is, I created a group for sharing your questions. And it's very happy to see many of the people responding for the other. Responding. The main intention of creating the group is for that only, guys. Share your knowledge so that you can understand. If you are not able to do that, if you are not able to resolve the problems, I will just respond. Until then, let you yourself share your knowledge, share between yourself. Clear? And third thing I want to say is, I created a group for sharing your questions. No personal messages, please. No personal messages. I have a lot of groups here. Don't send me personal messages. Sir, what is this and what is that? The group is created for intention to share all your questions in the group. Okay? So please again, don't post personal questions again. No personal chats, please. Okay? Please share the group link. The group link is posted in the Google Classroom. Sandeep, go and check it out there. In the Google Classroom, I already posted it. Notes link, group link, Sanyoni, just to talk with Srikanth. Srikanth will enter into the Google Classroom. And in the Google Classroom, you have the notes and links and everything is present there. Video is also available there only. Talk with Srikanth. Srikanth will add you into the Google Classroom. Okay, fine. So let's see this practically, guys. I'm writing a program called VayDynamic.cs. Some name here. Okay. Using system, class var dynamic. Okay. I'm just going to use var here. Okay, all of you, watch this. Var I, var I did not assign a value. Console dot right line I. Dynamic D. Dynamic D. Okay. Just a minute. I assign a value, but here I is equals to 10. And for this also I'm doing it. D is equals to 10. Array, I done the same thing in both the two cases, correct? But first one is invalid and second one is valid. Verify. Yeah, error C. But did not say for dynamic C. That's not saying for dynamic. Error on the line number 6. Error on line number 6. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Error there. Okay. So, is this valid? Recompiling a program, server, no error. Got it? And also watch this. I value 10, we know here, I don't require to print the I value to you. Exactly what we need to find? The type of I. That is important now. Not value of I. Our value of I is 10 only, no doubts with that. What is important? Get type. We need the value of I. Okay, I'm using get type. Watch it. Both are type. Here, both are integers only. Both are integers. Just both you can say both are integer types only in this case. No confusion, sir? Tell me. Understood? Okay. Next. One more thing I'll show you. Watch. Now here I'm trying to change I is equals to 34.56. And again I'm trying to do this. Now here also D is equals to 34.56. Now tell me, valid or invalid? Louder, invalid. But this one, this is valid. Check. Error C. Cannot implicitly convert the type double to integer. Line number 10. So this is 6 now. No. We added one more line now. We added one more line. So this is 6, 7, 8, 9. Line number 10. Error. Okay. But that's not an error for you in case of D. So here, if I want this, what should I do? I need to declare it separately. Something, where F is equals to, and I'm just doing. Is this valid now? Yeah, this is valid. This is going to be valid. No issues with that. Okay, here also, I'm just going to write F. Now, both here also float only, here also float only. Both are floats. Recompile, execute. Both are float. Okay, I did not assign. Okay, yeah, just say int single, int single. Okay, now. Next, what is the third difference? Yeah, the third difference is this one. Var x is equals to 100. Dynamic y is equals to 100. Remember, again, first one is invalid, second one is valid. Because these are fields. Var cannot be used on fields. The contextual keyword var may only appear within a local variable declaration or in a script code. Script code means a block of code, that's all. within a block of code. Point clear, all of you? Okay. So are you clear with the three differences? What differences? Compile time, run time. That you cannot see that. I can only tell you. I can prove you. But three differences are practically proven you now. Okay, now? So where came in 3.2 and dynamic came in 4.2. Means the dynamic came with more advanced features of the where. Dynamic came with more advanced features of the where. If you think of not changing the type again in the future, use where. If you think of changing the type in the future, use dynamic. That depends on the requirement. Okay, it is not like where is better or dynamic is better. If we come up to a conclusion where is better or dynamic is better, are the designers fools to give you two options to you? Understood my point? When you have multiple options available, never try to make a comparison, sir, this one is better, that one is better. If you are doing a comparison, there is a foolishness. Why? Designers are not fools to give you 4 options or 5 options to you and tell you this is better. Everything is going to be correct only in the appropriate situation. Tells you, situation tells you, but not a developer or you. Depending on the situation, we need to select the best option in the appropriate places. I hope you understood my point. Are you clear? Can we use constant and read only and fail? Constant and read only are finds only. Constant and read only are always finds only. Okay. So this is about the implicitly typed variables and the dynamic type. Okay now? Fine. Next. We need to understand one more concept here, guys. What's this? Boxing and unboxing. What is boxing and unboxing? Listen. Actually, what is boxing and unboxing means? Int I is equals to 100. Value type or reference type? I'm not asking about data type now. Value type or reference type? Value type. Okay. Object obj. Value type or reference type? Can I do this? Come on, yaar, guess. Nothing happens now. Your hand will not cut off if you say wrong. Tell me, valid or invalid? What do you think? It is valid, guys. This is valid. How is it valid? Already I said you, your object is a parent of all the types and capable of storing anything in it. Yes or not? And we actually call this as boxing. We call this as boxing. Boxing means converting a value type into. Are you clearer? That's a valid thing now. Converting a value type into reference type is what we call as boxing. So this is a valid statement. We are doing boxing now and converting the value types into reference types here. Is the point clear, all of you? Yes or not? Okay, so this is boxing. Now we have one more thing. The opposite for this boxing, we have one more thing called as unboxing. We have one more thing called as unboxing. What is unboxing? Any guess? Converting? Louder. Reference types to value type. Converting the reference type to value type is unboxing. Are you clear? Tell me, yaar. Understood? Converting reference type to value types is unboxing. A reference type being converted into value type is what we call as a unboxing. Okay. So tomorrow you can answer this confidently in interview. What is meant by boxing and unboxing? What's your answer? Boxing means converting a value type into reference type is called as boxing, and unboxing means converting a reference type into. When you give this answer, the next question will be. This is the next question. What is the next question? You know, string str is equals to hello. Value type or reference type? Value type or reference type? Reference type. Okay. The nest question is, Convert this into an integer. Next minute, I'll give you the appointment letter. Come on, convert that into integer. Next minute, I'll give you the appointment letter to you. You only said, converting reference type to value type is unboxing. Do it. Did you understand my question, folks? You said, no, converting reference type to value type is unboxing. Okay, convert it now. Array, what did I teach you in the last class? And again, you just made the mistake. You know, what did I teach in the last class? Reference types cannot be stored on the stack, I said you. Yes or not? And now you're telling converting reference type to value type is unboxing. If you want to convert reference type to value type, storing should be done on the stack now. You cannot store a reference type on stack now. Then how can you convert a reference type into value type now? That's the wrong answer. Are you clear? Most of the people, when they go to interviews, this is what I noticed. They say the same thing on it. Converting the value type to reference type is boxing, and immediately say converting the reference type to value type is unboxing also. You done that? That's a big blunder. Are you clear? A reference type can never be converted into value type. A reference type can never be converted into value type. Think yourself here. Can I convert the hello into integer? Double? Boolean? Nothing it can be converted because that is reference type and cannot be stored on the stack memory. Then what is unboxing, sir? Listen, what is unboxing? Your answer, what you should answer should be, what is unboxing? If the value type is converted into reference type, if the value type is converted into reference type, what is unboxing or? Yes or not? That reference type converting back into value type is called unboxing. That reference type converting back into value type is called as unboxing. Let me clarify. So yes, value type converting to reference type. What is it? Boxing. Okay, now reference type converting into value type. What it is? What it is? Invalid. Yeah, that's what I said again. You are forgetting. Invalid. We can't do that. Then what's that? I have a value type. I have a value type converted into are you guys clear? Understood? Audible now? Am I audible now? Okay. You can see now. A value type first converted into, now converting it back into value type is what we call, but don't forget, reference types cannot be converted to value types. So this is completely invalid. Then what is valid? Look here. Can I convert this OBJ back into integer? Can I convert this back into integer? That is called unboxing. So I can convert this into integer. See now, int j is equals to, that is called unboxing. Are you clear or not? Okay, so listen. Unboxing means converting a reference type which is created from a value type back into, read that statement carefully, all of you. Converting a reference type which is created from a value type back into value type. What is not possible? Converting a reference type to value type is not possible. But what is possible? A reference type created from a value type converting back into reference type is possible. Understand here a detailed type here. Value type first converted to, again converted to value type. Okay? But Unboxing, unboxing requires an explicit conversion. What it requires? An explicit conversion. What is an explicit conversion? Concentrate on this. This is valid, guys. We can do that. We can do that. It is valid. Then what is explicit conversion? Listen. I said to you, anything can be assigned to object. Yes or not? Day before yesterday, I said to you, anything can be assigned to object. But did I say object can be assigned to anything? Tell me. What did I say? Anything can be assigned to object. Guys, did you lose your wallet? Did you lose your wallet? Then why you put a sad faces here? Enjoy the class. Why you sad face like this? Like you lost your wallet and lost your life something? Enjoy the subject first. If you can't enjoy the subject, you will not understand the subject. You put sad faces and listen, you'll sleep, that's all. Participate in the class. That's what I'm telling you. If you are active, it will be enthusiastic for me to teach. If you're sleeping, I too will get sleep in the classroom. And I too will sleep. Finally, I'm not the loser. You are the loser. You paid off your money. And if you don't teach properly, you will only be the loser, not me. I get my salary end of the month. Understood? Huh? Concentrate here. Be active in the classroom. I see all lazy faces, drowsy faces. The biggest problem, morning 7 o'clock I face this problem. 7 o'clock. People won't come to the class without even taking the bath. Wake up, directly come on the bed, that's all. 9 o'clock also I'm facing this problem here. Sleep in the night properly first. Sleep properly in the night here. Minimum 7-8 hours of WhatsApp and Facebook. You won't sleep in the night. 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock also will be online only. Or you won't sleep, you want. My day starts at morning 7. My first class is 7:15. My first class is at 7:15. You know my work schedule? I start 7:15 in the morning. Continuous 4 classes until 1 o'clock. I have 4 classes. Continuous 15 minutes gap. I have 4 classes. Again, I work for a company from 2 to 11. I work for a company from 2 to 11. This is my daily schedule. From 7 to 11, I work. And I am shouting and I am enthusiastic and energetic. You are attending 1 or 2 classes and lazy and sleeping in the classrooms. Be active, yaar. Your 20s only now, but you're playing like 40s and 50s. Be active first. Okay? So did you catch my point? So what is that? I said anything can be assigned to object. But did I say object can be assigned to anything? I did not say that. So here you are trying to assign an object to an integer, right? You can do that. But required to perform a conversion, direct assignment is not possible. What do you require? Conversion. How to write, Convert the dot. 2 into 32. Simple English here. Understand. Convert 2 into 32. What is convert? Convert is again a predefined class under the same system namespace. Convert is a predefined class under the same system namespace. Understood? This is the 19th type under the system namespace. Till now we learned 18 types in the system namespace. What are 18? 17 data types. Console class. Convert class. Total 19 are 15 are structures, 4 are classes. What are 4 classes? Console, string, object, convert. These 4 are classes. Remaining 15 are structures. So namespace is a container of types. Remember, don't expect only classes. Classes will be there. Structures can be there. Interfaces can be there. Enums can be there. Delegates can be there. Point clear? Okay, so that's what. So convert is a class and string32 is a static method. Static method for converting into integer. Can you guess the method name? I want to convert this into double. Use your common sense. Simple English, na? Convert to 2 into 32. Converting into integer. Convert to double. Convert to dot. 2 double. Float. Convert to dot. Single. Single. Boolean. Convert to dot to Boolean. All static methods again. All these are static methods and you can just use those particular static methods in your code. Are you clear or not? So this is how you just required to write. Convert the dot 2 into 32 off. And now this is unboxing. This is what I put you in the mind. but unboxing requires an explicit conversion. Are you clearer or not? Understood me? And don't forget this one. Value types can be converted to reference types, but reference types cannot be converted to value types. Why? Because stack cannot increase or decrease the memory, but reference types means variable length. The concept of the reference type itself is variable length. Now, when you want the variable length increasing, decreasing is not possible for the stack, because stack can allocate the memory only in a fixed length. So that is why reference types can never be stored on stack. You can store only value type. Can I store value type on a heap? You can store, yeah, what is the problem? That still has an option to increase and decrease also. But reference types can never be stored on the stack memory. Are you clear about data types? See guys, I started data types on Friday. I said about listed the data types. And I said you the rules and regulations for declaring the data variables, fields, and all the things. In a Saturday session, I showed you how to declare variables or fields in your code, default values, modifiers. I explained all these particular things to you. And today, and also I talked about value types and reference types. Today, I spoke about all the leftovers. What's it? Nullable value types, implicitly typed variables, dynamic, and finally, boxing and unboxing. This is the complete information to you about data types. Clearer or not? 32. What is 32, guys? What did I say? What is 32? 32 bit. 32 bit means 4 bytes. 8 bits is 1 byte. 32 bit. 32 bit means 4 bytes memory. That's a 4 bytes memory. Okay, that is memory size basically. Let me show you where this boxing unboxing comes into picture. Where this boxing and unboxing comes into picture. Manoj, that is what I'm telling you. Either you tell me what you want, I will teach in that way. I'm teaching in a style now, so let me follow that particular pattern. I will teach everything to you. Wait. This is what I'm telling you, all of you. For online student, this is what I'm telling you. Listen, I complete. Yeah, you are worried for everything. What I'm going to teach in the future, you're asking us now only. I told you, wait. Okay? So fine. Now try him. I just want to write a small program here, very small program. What is it, I think I have a very simple code. I want to prompt the user for entering 2 numbers, and I want to add the 2 numbers. That's all. I want to prompt the user entering 2 numbers, and I want to add them. That's it. For example, something like this. Watching. See this program here. When I run this program, asking you what, enter username. I'm entering that name. I'm entering some name. Now it's asking you enter password. Understood? Same way, write a program for me. What should I? You should ask me enter first number, enter second number. Should be the sum of the numbers. Okay, now this is what I wanted to do. Okay, okay. This much. Not bad. I want to write a program with a name called Adnams. Using system class Adnams. Yeah, clear statement I'm putting to clear the screen. Okay, ignore it. Now first it has to ask me what, enter first number. Correct? So console dot write line, enter first number. Guys, observe it all of you. When I compile this code, when I compile this CSC adnams.cs and run adnams. Yeah, screen got cleared. Printed you enter first number. Yes or not? But it's not waiting for my input here. And it's printing me enter first number. How can I enter? Is it waiting? See this program? Waiting for the input. But here you are not waiting here. You simply came out. Then where should I enter the value now? It has to wait for my input or not? If at all it has to wait for your input, listen all of you. In the next line, you're required to use read line statement. This is like your scanf in your C language, scanf. Now it is read line. We'll wait for the input now. Watch it all of you. Recompile and execute. Waiting or not? But we're waiting on the next line. Watch the cursor waiting on the next line, but here show you waiting on the same line. Which one is correct? Waiting on the same line or next line? Same line, not in the next line. You can take out input like this also, but waiting on the same line is important here. Are you clear? So to resolve this, come to your code and use right. What is the difference? Right is printf, right line is printf plus /n. Array right is printf here, prints and waits on the same line. Right line is printf plus /n. Prints and comes to next line, /n comes to next line. I don't want to come to next line, I want to wait on the same line. Then I should use right. Understood all of you? Recompile. Observe it. Understood or not? Now listen, the read line method is waiting here now. Actually, read line method will perform 3 actions to us. The read line method performs 3 actions for us. What are the 3 actions? Action 1. Action 1 is waits for the user's input. Waiting. Action 1 is waits for the user's input. Waiting now. Action 2. Once the user finishes entering a value and hits the enter key, hitting the enter key is to tell I am done, correct? Otherwise, how will the computer know here whether you want to still enter or finish? Computer no. How will the computer know? When you click on the enter key. Okay? When you hit the enter key, the second thing what the read line statement will do, it will read the value into the program. It will read the value into the program. It is going to read the value now. The value 100 goes into the program now. Action number 3. It returns the value what it has read. It returns the value what it has read. What is that? It is a value returning method. It is a value returning method. So it is going to return the value and you can capture the value. Watch it all of you. Int I is equals to. Did you understand me? First it will read. Next it will read. Now it will bring the value and the value will be assigned to I. Value will be assigned to I. Did you catch my point or not? But tell me, always will you enter integer only there? No, I can enter a double also. I can enter a float also. I can enter a boolean. I can enter a character. I can enter a string. Anything I can enter. Am I right? Okay, just a minute. Observe, recompiling the code. Oh, giving an error, guys. See the error? Cannot convert the type string to int. And you're wondering here, where did we convert this? We did not convert anywhere now. We said int I is equals to. Where did we convert it? Listen here. The return type of the method is string, guys. The return type of the method is string. What it returns, string it returns, not integer. Why string, sir? Why string? That's why I asked you a question. Are you going to enter the same value every time? Only integer every time? You can enter a double also there now. You can enter a float also there. That is why they taken the return type as string. Because string is again a reference type. And all your value types can be converted to string again. Understood or not? See, one thing understand. This is predefined method, user-defined method. Predefined. At the time of writing that method, what did they do, If they write the method like this, for example, if they write the method like this, int read line, you can use this method to read only integers. You can read this method to read only integers. Means only integers. Now, if you want to enter a double, not possible. Float not possible, failure not possible. So what did they do? They defined the method like this: public static string read line. Because it is string here, this method can read integer, strings, booleans, doubles, anything it can read. But finally, after reading, the value will come to which format? String format. Comes in string format. Understand, yeah, boxing will happen implicitly now. I enter integer, who convert into string and returns here. I enter double, converts into string and return. Enter boolean, converts into string and return. Means you can enter anything now. But if I write the method like this, what I can read is only integer. Now which one is better? First one or second one? So they define the method like this. They define the method as string. They define the method as string. Are you clearer or not? So that is why the return type of the method is string, but you are trying to capture it as a integer. Understood or not? That is why you are getting an error in the compilation. How to resolve it? How to resolve it here? Read it like a string only now. String S1 is equals to. Now you don't face the problem, see, compile the code, you won't get any compile time error now. No error, see? Any error? No, why? That is returning a string, I'm reading a string. But problem is, okay, so what happened here? There's an implicit boxing happened there. Can you convert arithmetic operations on strings? Sorry, can you perform arithmetic operations on strings? Can you add two strings? Tell me, add. Can you? Yes, sir. Where did you learn performing arithmetic operations on strings here? You forget mathematics or what? You cannot do arithmetic operations on strings. I did not ask you concatenations. I asked you, can you perform arithmetic operations on strings? No, you can't do any arithmetic operation on string now. So if you want to do an arithmetic operation, what you are required to do now? You are required to do unboxing and convert the string back into integer. Boxing and unboxing is here now. Implicit boxing is there. Now, int I is equals to convert the dot 2 into 32 of S1. What is it? I did not do boxing here. Boxing is done internally. What did I do? Unboxing I done. Why did I do unboxing? If it is not integer, I cannot do arithmetic operations on it. That is the reason for converting this into an integer again. Point clear, all of you? Yes or not? Understood? Because arithmetic operations cannot be done on a string. Same way, can you read one more value? Copy the same, guys. Copy this as it is. Paste it here. What is this? Second number. Yes to J. Yes to. Done. Okay, now can I add? Yeah. Int k is equals to I plus c. Int k is equals to I plus c. Console dot right line k. Console dot right line k. No error anywhere? Sorry. I entered something. Got it? Actually, I want to enter 150. Whatever it is. Got it out. Remember, two strings cannot become added here. If you try to add S1 and S2, it won't add you. It will concatenate you. Watch. Error won't come. Understood? You cannot do arithmetic operations. If I say minus, You'll get error now. You'll get error. What are we telling you? You cannot use minus and two strings here. Basically, you cannot use plus also two strings, but unfortunately, our programming language is given an option for concatenation. That's what the code works. But minus, multiply, divide, error will come. Understood? So, that is the reason for converting into integer again. That's why I converted this into integer and I done that. Now tell me, can I do addition, subtraction, multiplication, whatever I want? Yeah, it's in a thing. So did you understand why I explained about boxing and unboxing first? Because there is an implicit boxing involved in our code now. So because there's an implicit boxing, what I need to do? Explicit unboxing. I need to perform a explicit unboxing. And don't forget about the read line method. The return type of the method is string. And this method is also in the console class only. Don't forget. The console class only contains write line, write, read line. All these methods are available. So read method is also available for you. And the read line method is available also in the console class. And the return type of the method is string. It is going to be a string basically. Okay. So boxing is there. I performed a unboxing in the code. Okay. Try this, guys. I'll explain you more things on this in the tomorrow's class. I'll explain you some more things on this particular program in the tomorrow's class now. Okay. And 3 steps of the read line. Step 1. Waits for the user's input. Step 2. Reads the user's input. Step 3. Returns the value back. Returns the value back now. Understood? Okay. Let's stop here, guys. We'll continue tomorrow. Carry on. Yeah. What is this Jnana Ranjan? What did you type? Can you explain the what dynamic file and explain the third difference? Okay, how many times you ask the third difference? Yeah, changing the type dynamically in the not possible. I'm telling you. You're again asking the same thing only. Int x is where x is equals to 100. X is which type? X is integer, right? In the next line, I'm writing x is equals to 24.56. This is invalid. That's what I'm telling you. Because it's a double. This is the problem. You can't do that. But this is possible. Dynamic d is equals to 100 and d is equals to 24.56. This is valid. For where it is not possible, for dynamic it is possible. Understood, Akila? Srikanth, why you want Srikanth? Srikanth is not the admin for this batch. Srikanth is not the admin for this batch. Contact Arvind. చెప్తా Huh?